the problem that I have is what can we expect with ETHgate? I mean, this is so rooted up. You got Wang Chang, China, you got China, Prometheum, you got all these different things that are that are there. And when I think of FTX, the Sam Bankman-Fried situation, they threw out the one thing that we all wanted answers to was, where did that stolen money as far as politically go? And they dismissed that part of it. And I'm just like, well, if they can do that, and and hear me out on this, because I said this yesterday. I feel we're at a point right now as a country. It's not about, like, I'm not speaking when I say slavery as a race. I'm talking about as people, all of us together, Americans. We're enslaved in this system that's not set up for us to win. And I think that's why we're having this problem right now, is because it's all about control. They want to keep people in the matrix. They don't want people. I always say crypto is a vehicle for people to dream again. And I don't think they want that. I think they want, that's not profitable for people to be able to win or succeed in life at a very high level. And so, yeah, your thoughts on that.
Control people who have money, because they'll be like, screw you, I'm not following your rules.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is another fascinating thing I learned not too long ago. The U.S. government is the largest employer in the world.
Yeah.
So if you are employed by the U.S. government and you need that job because you got bills to pay every month and you don't really have much savings, and the U.S. government does something super shady, you can't really speak out about it because you'll get fired and then you can't pay your bills. So keeping people like at the poverty line or in this kind of constant rat race, first of all, is exhausting. They're not going to be able to mobilize, and it keeps sort of the vibration of people's. If you ever talk to somebody who's in a job they absolutely hate, like they generally complain about it a lot, and their sort of whole demeanor is pretty negative, right?
Right.
And so that's a great way to keep people from rebelling against this organized crime syndicate, is to just keep them so engrossed in these lives they don't really like that they just don't care and they check out mentally.
Wow. That's an interesting perspective. So your thoughts on why now, meaning that, why call ETH a security now?
Well, I'm not too worried that that's going to play out the way we think, because it's not really up to the SEC to decide what is and is not security. So we need some capital markets reforms. Actually, Jimmy and I put together an infographic on his plan for how some of that should play out. There's a very clear definition of what a security is. And ETH itself isn't going to be a security either. Necessarily. I mean, you have to have like an entity, a company, or a group of people say, if you give me money, I'll do something with it and you'll make a profit in some sort. That's what they get, the investment contract. And XRP is not a security. And while I think the Ethereum Foundation with their ICO, that constituted a security agreement. Correct. We're like, hey, give us money now. We'll go build this ecosystem and then you'll make more profit on the other side.
Right.
That doesn't necessarily make the underlying asset itself. Now, I know we're going to get into the mining idea and proof of stake, like that is almost kind of like a yield-based security at times. So that means that the staking contract is potentially a security. But if I use ETH to buy, an NFT on OpenSea and pay $100 in gas fees while I'm doing that, that doesn't necessarily make the whole thing a security.
That makes sense. Yeah, big time. Let me ask you this. The SEC requesting $2 billion. I mean, that's just the craziest thing I've ever heard.
Like, you want me to consider you organized crime? Because that looks like extortion. Like, it really does. How are you entitled to like $2 billion for a fairly I mean, Jimmy has talked publicly about this, that like the issue are these institutional sales, which when you sell a private placement to, or you sell a security to an accredited investor, which of course institutions are, like you don't have to file a registration. Like if anything, there's a minor piece of paperwork that they should have filed. And you used to be able to retroactively file that. This rule was changed after the SEC Ripple lawsuit was filed. So to charge $2 billion for what's coming down to like a paperwork error is ridiculous. The irony is that if you want to look at who was actually harmed by that lawsuit, like the SEC harmed a lot of retail XRP holders far more than Ripple harmed anyone. If anybody should be paying a $2 billion fine, it should be the SEC to all of us, which is kind of what the buyback was supposed to be.
Yeah. I talked about it last night and I said, for me, we're about, we saw everything that's transpired up to this point. We're 3-0. We continuously win against the SEC. And so now I think a lot of retail or a lot of the XRP community have been sitting back going, okay, well, we know they said it was about 750 million or so, whatever it was in pragmatic sales, whatever that number was. And then, so we were waiting, okay, what are they going to hit Ripple with? The whole 700 something million, 200 something million. And they come out with this 2 billion. I just think it's to me, my own opinion, is a way to try to kill hope. They know that people are all excited. People are thinking this is coming to an end. And then you just throw that ridiculous number up. And what it did is it caused a lot of, that, and then also talking about how Ripple's spending XRP, it caused a lot of, here in the last probably few days or so, a lot of controversy in the XRP community. And what's your take on that? Just do you feel that was done to kind of kill the hope and kill the vibe of this is coming to an end? I mean, what do you feel about that?
All right, a couple of things. One, Gary Gensler has done us a service by having those MIT courses publicly available.
Yeah.
And in one of those courses, he said that if you want to move in to the banking world, the legacy banking system, the monopoly, you got to pay up like in the mob. You got to, pay the mob don of the other family if you want to enter into a new market. And so this is what the fine looks like to me, is they've conceded that XRP is going to be used. And they're like, we want our kickback. In an organized crime. Now, this will be the interesting thing that people haven't really discussed. All right, so I don't think Ripple's going to have to pay $2 billion because they have very good lawyers that will hopefully negotiate on their behalf. Let's even say they had to pay $1 billion fine.
Right.
What do you think they're going to pay that fine in?
XRP.
Right. So the cartel's like, we wanted 50% of the XRP in the beginning. If you had just given us half we asked, then we wouldn't have given you a hard time. But you didn't really want to be controlled by the mob, so you said no. Wow. But now at the end of it, we're still going to take our cut if you would like us to get out of the way and let you do your thing.
Wow. That is very.
Now, that's just my belief or theory. I don't.
No, and it's amazing.